Hello, everybody. Welcome to a very special episode of Nintendo Pow Block. I am your host, Corey Dirrig, and joining me, as always, is that retro code, Eddie V.
Alucard, is that you?
And the wise Wisconsinite, Jesse Douglas.
How's it going, everyone?
So, last week, I kind of said 160 was going to be a very important episode, but we're going to do this today. We're going to have this conversation today during the episode. We've been having discussions for about what would you guys say, about a month now?
Yeah.
Because we want to do something bigger. We want to do something more in the realm of a creative space where we can like bring everything kind of together and be creative together and do more cool things together. And as fun as being a part of Nerds Gone Rogue has been for Pow Block and Arsenal X as well, and we're gonna do this for Arsenal X as well at some point, maybe tonight, maybe next week, I don't know. At some point we're gonna do that, but we are going to try to branch out and do something more creative. And Nintendo Pow Block is, especially, for me and Ed doing this for almost 3.5 years at this point, and Jesse coming on, being an important part of building the show too, is like Nintendo Pow Block has been very, very important to us. It's been, it's been my favorite part of the week, every week doing the show. And, it kind of all comes down to like managing multiple channels and trying to do a bunch of things for different channels and stuff, to the point where like I feel like we all haven't really done what we wanted to do because we've been restricted on multiple levels,
Yeah.
But I think it's time that Nintendo Pow Block and Arsenal X kind of evolve and become something new and different. And we are making a big announcement today. We are going to launch a new channel, a new show, and a new Twitch live stream channel, if my PC wants to work. It's been a nightmare trying to get I'm using my laptop right now. It's just not. This really didn't go as planned. Let's put it that way. But we're gonna make a big announcement today. We are creating a new show called The NX Show and a new platform called The NX Project. We're building a new website. We're building, some new social media platforms. And, to start this show, we are going to have a general Pow Block episode today. But to start the show, instead of housekeeping, maybe instead of what we're playing, that kind of stuff, I kind of want all of us to have the discussion of what we're doing. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit nervous about this because this is a big move for us. We're going to try to have a platform that celebrates our creativity, and not just on video games either. We've talked about anime, we've talked a lot about Ninja Turtles across our platforms, we've talked a lot about a bunch of different things that don't have to do with video games, and we're going to stretch that way too. And I don't know, man. I'm just like, I was telling Ed earlier today, I'm just like, I'm really excited. I'm a little bit nervous. I'm kind of excited. I'm kind of just a lot of mixed emotions right now. And when I brought this up to you guys about a month ago, it was really when like Jesse started redoing the Nintendo Pow Block theme song. I was kind of throwing some thoughts around in my head. I want to be more creative, and I haven't. This is why our shows haven't had breakouts the last few weeks. This is why we haven't really had a lot of daily quote unquote content in terms of topics or breakouts or questions or whatever. Across all of our platforms. That's why Ed's done a couple solo shows for Arsenal X. We've been planning this moment actually. So June 1st, we are launching codenamenx.com and the NX Show, which will be our new podcast where, it's, the title of this episode is All Good Things. It's not that all good things must come to an end. It's all good things,
We're about to start.
Yeah, I mean,
It's everybody. We're going through a transition at this time, so
yeah,
uh,
it's better. It's better explaining things.
so
Yeah.
codename NX. How it started off. We all were throwing in names. Some sounded goofy, some sounded good, but we just didn't land on it. And then Corey just happened to see something.
Of course, Nintendo is involved in this story.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so me and Corey was just talking, just hanging out and stuff. And Corey just somehow turned around and there was a box of a certain game.
No, what happened? Okay, so here's what happened. Like my,
I was trying to build it up.
oh,
So-
sorry.
So there was a noise that Corey heard, and then he just turned around. We were still going through names, and Corey looked down, and there was a box of a certain particular game that no one would think. So if you can see right now, codename Sting. And just when Corey seen that box, he's just like, "It." I'm like, "What?" "I got it. Are you ready?" I was just like, "I'm ready for everything." Corey builds it up. He said, "Codename NX." And my wig fell off. My body fell through. My soul just came out translucent, and did twirls in the air. I was just like, "That's it." So the network name is Codename NX, the NX project. So. And what it is that we're bringing not only Nintendo Pow Block, but Arsenal X, but we're also, like Corey said, this gives us the freedom to be more creative, to talk about movies, PlayStation, just different things, and there's gonna be different shows and stuff. But yeah, Codename NX is the network in a sense, and the NX show is just going to combine both Nintendo Pow Block and Arsenal X all into one. So there's only going to be one podcast for you guys. So I'm gonna hand it back over to you, Corey. Didn't mean to take your thunder or anything.
Oh, no. I was kind of hoping you would jump in because I really didn't really prepare anything to say because we were actually planning on making this announcement next week.
Mhm.
But with people's schedules and things that we want to start doing so we can launch the channel with content and whatever, and also to get feedback from fans, because I know a lot of people listen to this show and I know a lot of people care about what we're doing in terms of content, and we've gotten some stuff, some emails about content and if there's more coming and if the podcast is all we're doing and stuff like that. And so like I want people's feedback too, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're subscribed to Nintendo Pow Block on a podcast service, you don't have to subscribe to a different feed, right? I'm inserting this feed into there, and on that feed's going to be everything from Pow Block, everything from Arsenal X, everything from the short-lived Javelins for Hire show that we did, everything from the even shorter-lived show, Tower Casuals will be in there.
Seasonal shows, as we call
Movie,
them.
no, retired shows.
I say seasonal because they may come back in some capacity. You never know. So right now,
First of all, I don't even think EA knows if Anthem's coming back the way they're. Anyways, that's a different, different discussion.
AX.
But the point is like even the movie commentaries that we did are on this feed. Like everything that we've done together as a team
Mm-hmm.
is going to be on this feed, and that's important to us because we've put a lot of work into these channels, into the Nerds Gone Rogue in general. Like it's been a lot of work and a lot of fun doing this stuff, and I want to get back to doing those things, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I think we I think we all kind of deserve a a new challenge and deserve to be more creative and deserve to like have a chance to expand our creativity instead of being, just like Jesse and I have been planning on recording stuff the last few weeks, and then it just got to the point where like I've been up late editing the whole week before, and starting a different job kind of got in the way of that as well. And like on Saturday nights, I'm just like, I'm sorry, I am just too tired, because I'm editing. I'm breaking out, 4 shows, 5 shows every week. And like, that's why the breakouts haven't happened the last few weeks is like, we're planning on something new. So we don't have to do that type of stuff anymore. And, that's why we are setting up our own Twitch channel where we can do Royale with Cheese once a month, Squad Goals once a month, have weekly or, once a month or every week we'll have something different to stream. Right. And, I, especially like Jesse for Squad Goals, I want to get back into Sea of Thieves because the stuff they're doing with that sounds really awesome.
And
right?
Dude, I've been wanting
Jesse
to
was
get
just
back
talking
into
about
it
that.
so bad. That game looks so fun.
Yeah,
I did. I did.
I mean,
the
it was
update and
before,
everything.
but
Yeah, I did the update, and I want to see what new things that they brought because definitely with E3 coming, there's probably going to be some more new announcements coming. So I'm like, I want to be able to do that with you guys.
Well, just the story mode alone is like the fact that they're adding story to it, and stuff now, like that really makes me excited. Even if it's just something small, I don't mind. Like just it's such an amazing world that you're playing in. It deserves some kind of lore and story to go along with it because like they've done such a phenomenal job with that game.
Right.
Like they've been working their butts off on that game and I just want to play it and support it. It's it's just such an amazing looking game and fun.
The way they've been fleshing it out and improving stuff. It's just like from what they initially released as, it's not the same game you get it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like that's the kind of stuff I want to do though, is like I want to get back into playing some battle royales and we'll have those broken out, like those types of videos we'll take off the Twitch channel. Like you can watch us on Saturday nights play those games, and then throughout the week we'll split them out into 2 or 3 different episodes, and then the next following week like that's the kind of stuff that I want to get back into and doing expansion passes again, and we threw around the idea of doing a movie review show where we kind of talk about movies in a, like, for example, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and going movie by movie and just talking about those movies and throwing it up on a podcast feed or YouTube or whatever. And like, even my wife thought that was a good idea and wants to get involved in that. And like, we've thrown around a bunch of ideas, and I think this is kind of a big step for us. And we talked about, to be quite honest with you, we've talked about monetizing stuff, and all right, we think our audience is big enough and the core group here is good enough to maybe attempt to do that at some point in the near future. And I think with all the work that we've all put in, I think I always told you guys, I think you guys deserve to be rewarded for the hard work you guys have put into this. And I think it's time. I think we can do it, is my point. And like, I think not to like be mean about anything, but there's shows out there that I've listened to that are monetized and stuff, and I think our shows are better. And not to take anything away from those shows in particular, but like, I think our shows are just as good or better in a lot of ways. And I think as a group, our personalities carry the shows, and I think we are, good enough to do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and like we've, like back to the monetized stuff, we've talked about that, and like honestly, like if and when we did do that, we've talked about like any kind of money that we would make would basically be going back into the show and trying to do what we can to make it better for like to better the show, to better because it costs money. Even when we're doing it free, it costs money to post all this stuff up and to start a website and and all that. So I mean, like we obviously it's gonna, a lot of that money would go back into the show. And like another thing too that we kind of with all this and like the changing of stuff, like we're trying to, like, we're looked at this decision as a way to make things more consistent. Like that's the one thing that like, so Ed has done an amazing job. Like when we don't get to do AX, he'll do it like himself. But like, as much as I'm glad that you do that, Ed, at the same time, it's like it's kind of a bummer. And like this way, if we can just focus on one show and try to be consistent with everything that we're doing and never leave a man behind. Like I mean, we still will, there still will be like times where maybe one of us isn't able to make it on the show, but we will always make sure that we have something for you, and there will almost always be a show or some kind of extra thing that that you guys will be able to look forward to having. Like there's like me personally, there's something I'm in the process of looking into as far as like something that would just be kind of like an extra thing for the channel that is like, there's a podcast that I listen to called the Stephen Kyle podcast, and they're kind of doing like a thing where they want to help promote other podcasts, but at the same time, like they're getting promotion across, doing a collaboration type thing with people who have podcasts. And I'm actually looking into seeing if I could do something with them. It would be cool if we could all do something with them, but I told them, like, if for some reason I can't, we could always just do like an episode, and I can like just basically like talk about our podcast and get our stuff out there. And then what we could do is, like, a lot of podcasts they'll use that one show and then they both post it on their feeds. So it's like a collaboration, but you both use it as an episode or whatever.
Yeah, I've seen people do that before too, where like they'll just post that episode, like even if they're guessing on an episode, that'll be that week's episode for that other show too. Yeah. So for us, it would just be something extra, but like things like that, that's like kind of what we want to do. We want to give you guys, like, we want to make sure that we're still talking about games, because that, is still the heart of all of the stuff we're doing. But we don't want to limit ourselves. We want to be able to have more other interesting conversations and have other interesting, things that we offer you guys for content and stuff like that. So like, that's kind of like, for me, like that's what I'm like super excited for about like this kind of change that we've been talking about and stuff. So yeah, and like during the week, Ed, if you're off a night and we like, I mean, we're talking about reviving a bunch of stuff, right? Like, and we've already talked about Royale with Cheese and Squaggles and stuff, and bringing over some shows that are part of Nerds Gone Rogue, but like Pod and Play is a show that Ed and I started 3 years ago at this point, and it's like that's a 12 episode seasonal show, but that's something Ed and I really enjoy doing. And so we're thinking of how we could bring that style of show over, right? Or Nindy Showcase, right, is a show we love doing for Pow Block, right? But we want to open it up to indies that maybe aren't on Switch yet, or we've thrown around the name Indie Masterclass. It would be an 8-episode run of a Nindy show, or bringing that seasonal stuff over. And like I said, we're even bringing back stuff from my old channel DNA, right? Like Real Talk, and that was our movie show, and like we want to do stuff like that, even if the movie show would be it might not be every week, but it would be more of like a limited series style thing where like okay, this is the MCU Real Talk series, this is the Indiana Jones Real Talk series, this is the Turtles Real Talk series, right? Like it'll be separated like that. That way, like we'll still be consistent, but we'll give ourselves a chance to breathe and do other things too, and also I think, as soon as I get my computer fixed, like having that Twitch live streaming stuff will open up more opportunities too, where like we don't always have to be on YouTube. We can live stream. I thought about making Royale with Cheese a Twitch exclusive show for us. And then I was thinking, well, maybe we just live stream it and then post it as an archive stream on YouTube or whatever. But we have those things, right? Or E3 is right around the corner. We could live stream our E3 predictions and then export it to YouTube. We don't have to make it a well edited style thing. We can just stream our thoughts.
It feels more organic that way.
Yeah. And we're talking about collaborating with Ray Apollo, and some other people. Todd said he was interested in some stuff. I've reached out to a few people about this idea, and a lot of people are interested in working with us and collaborating with us. Especially, Secret Friends United is someone who I've wanted to collaborate with for a long time outside of just a podcast. I think Real Talk would be a good chance to get Charlie and Todd involved in something with us, especially for comic book movies. And I know they're not just limited to that, but Secret Friends Unite fans know that that's what they are specialize in, I would say.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's other channels that I would like to collaborate with, and I think this is a good opportunity to do that type of stuff. So,
and just like and kind of going back to the whole live streaming and stuff, like we would just like to get the chance to be more interactive too with listeners, so. Like we have a bunch of people who may just listen to audio only, but if we can get some of those people to interact with us and like have it so you guys can ask us questions live, and like that's something we've kind of been talking about wanting to do as well, because like when we're recording stuff late at night, it's the chances of there being a lot of people who are up as well to join us. I mean, who knows, but like we're usually recording around, this show and stuff we'll be doing like around 1:00 or whatever. So,
yeah.
So, that way it's at a time when people, if they're able to, would be able to join and communicate with us, and you can ask questions and things like that. So
plus it would allow like a conversation to be more organic almost too.
Yeah.
You guys could react to my crazy and insane answers and predictions, and really enjoyed the conversation. Yeah, I mean, because the community, you guys who are listening to this and who are watching this, you guys are important. That's why we like your feedback. That's why we like the questions that you guys provide us, because we get to think sometimes outside the box, and that makes the conversation better. And that makes us like feel relief when we get off the show to be like, man, that was so fun. And makes us kind of eager that we can't wait for others who didn't get the chance to watch the live show be able to check it out, to be like, oh, you guys do a live show? This is the kind of fun that you guys having? Okay, I'm gonna tune in next time. So yeah.
And like I'd said, like the more we can interact with you guys, because like ultimately, you know, the questions and all the things like that, like, is what we look forward to, is like hearing from people, and just, you know, like Ed said, getting questions from you guys that, you know, makes us think maybe about things that, or in ways that we didn't ever think about before, or whatever, you know. It just, yeah, it's like we just want to be able to communicate, you know, more with the people who are listening, and, you know, give people opportunity to you know, come on and watch live, or you know, have questions being answered like automatically right there, you know, like you're not having to wait until the episode comes out to hear what our thoughts were, you know, things like that. So
And
Yeah.
that's why we call it NX, because, you know, not only are we expanding it to Nintendo and Xbox, that you guys can also access my PlayStation stuff. So
Yeah.
we got all consoles and all kind of media in general and entertainment that you guys want to access, like on how we might feel about a certain story, or, you know, how it affects us as gamers and stuff. We could all be able to talk about that. We're not so much limited in a sense, but we're able to express freely in a moderate and positive way to the things that are out there. So
Yeah. And, you know, I know people are going to have some questions about, you know, why are you getting rid of Pow Block? Why are you using Pow Block as a jumping off point? Do I need to change feeds? No, you don't need to change feeds. We're using Pow Block because it's kind of where we started and how we want we have an audience there that I think knows us pretty well and knows that we like to do tangential stuff, and you know, we're using Pow Block as a jumping off point because, you know, like we had that conversation about monetizing, and we feel if we want to hit the ground running, we should use the platform that gives us the best chance to grow, right? And that's Pow Block, right? And you don't have to change feeds. You're going to have, you know, there's going to be some minor issues, probably mostly with people who use the Google Play Store, because their podcasting service sucks, quite frankly. But, you know, plus we're going to get it on Spotify. We're going to get it on Podbean. We're going to get it on iHeartRadio and TuneIn. Like, you know, I'm already building the feed on Podbean. So all I have to do is replace the feeds on the iTunes and other podcasting apps. So nothing, as long as you're subscribed to the shows now, you're not going to, most likely you're not going to lose anything unless you're on the Google Play Store. Then I do recommend you do change that. It's not going to change for about a week or so. But just so this is your heads up. This is your week warning, I guess. If you don't get an episode the following week and you listen on the Google Play Store, then maybe you need to go search out the NX show.
Yeah. So everybody, come transition with us to the next project.
Yeah, and I want to talk about the new podcast in general, because that's mostly where people are going to hear us, right? I mean, podcasts. It's just known, if you have a podcast, it's infinitely more popular than your YouTube or Twitch channel, unless that's all you're doing, right? And so let's talk about the NX show a little bit. We've talked about doing a giant bomb style podcast where, you know, yes, we do for Pow Block and Arsenal X, we encourage staying on course with stuff, but we want to spend more time talking about what we've been playing. We want to spend more time talking about you know, things that we're doing and interested in doing and whatever. We want to spend more time with emails and tweets and you know, listener questions and stuff. So you're going to get a longer show because we're incorporating more things, right? Not only are we incorporating 2 more gaming platforms into one show, but we're also, I saw Avengers Endgame last weekend, and I want to talk about that at some point. You know, there's other stuff that we would like to talk about, and if a tangent goes that way, we're encouraged to do so instead of just saying, okay, let's get back on track or whatever. I know, schedules and stuff, we're going to have a time limit in general, but this isn't going to limit the discussions we're having. If we have to skip stuff, we just cut it out on the fly, like Saturday Night Live does. We're like, oh, this skit went a little too long, so we have to cut something here, that kind of stuff. And I would rather have that cut in the news section of the show instead of cutting out what we've been playing. And
and sometimes that stuff could become an expansion pass of if there's some news things that we all want to talk about, or we want to communicate to you guys. Our reactions to it could always just be like, what, this is one big news story. Let's give it about 10 minutes. Let's give our own discussion and then put it out there for you guys if you want to have that.
Yeah, and that's another thing too, is like, like if you guys, unfortunately with me working third shift, it's really hard for me to do anything during the week. But like, I would imagine like, like since we're kind of like opening up the show, if there's like something really big that happens or something, and both of you have free time, like on a weekday or something, you guys, can always like just talk about it and just throw it up as like a small little thing, or like we've talked about taking things like that and kind of doing almost like a Game Informers podcast where like we would take like different things that we record and kind of have it as an add-on to the main show, or things like that as well. We've talked about doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like, like if we're able to, like when something's new and fresh, like some news comes out, just have a quick conversation about it, like a 15-20 minute conversation, and then that can, eventually be part of the show. Or, if Corey, if you decide you want to just throw it up for people to look at, right away or whatever, we can do stuff like that. Like that's the thing. We're still in the process of figuring exactly how we want to do stuff. But the idea is basically we just want to, have content and be consistent and just kind of talk about the things that we love talking about, and obviously focusing on games mostly, but not only.
Yes. Yeah, and that's where like random videos during the week or weekend, like Jesse, if say, I don't know, if you saw something and you wanted to talk, and you and Ed just sat and had a conversation for like 20 minutes before he went to work, or before we recorded Royale with Cheese or whatever, like you'll be able to do that. And then, hey, now that we can record Skype video, it's not the ideal way to record something, but you guys can record it and I can edit it real quick and throw it up, right? Like that's those types of things. And our goal is to have consistent videos along with randomness that goes up a few times. Like Jesse, if you're playing games, if you record it, just record it and then we'll throw it up as a Let's Play or whatever, like these types of things are the things that we have talked about. And yeah, we're still figuring out, but I think we have a show concept down, right? And the NX show, the show concept is down. So that will be our jumping off point. And, I also want your guys' feedback. Do you want us to change Nintendo Pow Block's Twitter account to the new one, or do you want us to make a new one? I do have all the new ones in place, in case we want to do that. But, maybe down the line someday we will want to bring back Pow Block and Arsenal X as separate things, right? Like way later down the road, if we become the next big thing or whatever, and we decide to do that, we can. But like, I just want people's feedback and to see what you guys think. I posted something in the Nintendo Pow Block Facebook group the other day, and I just said, hey, sorry we've been silent. We've been really working on something, and we hope that you are excited as we are. Get back to you soon and everything. And we are going to use those groups and those feeds as jumping off points, because that's where our audience is, and that's where we would like to stay. And if you decide not to stay with us because you only want a Nintendo show, I'm, sorry to see you go. But I think our show revolves around the personality rather than the news, right? Especially with Ed. I'm not picking on you, Ed. I just think you have the biggest personality out of the three of us. So, and Jesse's the one that keeps you grounded. So, and then I'm just here to be the boring host, the boring white guy host. So, but yeah, I mean, that's our plan. That's what we want to do. I was hoping this would be a little bit more,
formal.
Well, not formal, but I'm having problems getting my PC to turn on. So, I'm waiting on a callback from Lee to help me turn it on, but
well, Corey,
I'm probably gonna have to open it. So.
Well, can we jump into some questions? That we got.
Yeah, we probably could. Before we jump into the questions, I just want to say one more thing. Is like, I'm extremely proud of us, in particular, you guys. Like, I'm really proud of this team and what we are deciding to do. And when I threw this idea out there, and I was nervous to throw this out there because I didn't know how you guys were going to feel about it. And, putting Nerds Gone Rogue behind us is a big step. That's a big leap of faith that we are taking. And the fact that you guys are decided to take this leap with me was really exciting and kind of, I don't know, it was kind of powerful for me to have you guys come along on this journey with me. And I'm not leaving Nerds Gone Rogue's podcast, right? I'm still going to be on there because, I still enjoy doing podcasting with those guys, right? But in terms of just being creative with you guys, this is what I want to do. And even having, I had a 3-hour conversation with Jesse, a 2-hour conversation with Ed, a 2-hour conversation with my wife about all this. And the fact that everybody was on board from the moment I mentioned it, even my wife being on board was like, okay, we're going to do this, and we're going to make something special. We have the experience, we have the platform, we have the ideas, and I have a lot of faith in us to execute it. So, now that I'm done being emotional and serious and done kind of being nervous a little bit because this is a big step, we're gonna skip what we've been playing. There's a couple news stories that we'll probably just save for next week, but we're gonna get into the question block. Question block is not going away. Also next week when we record, I'm gonna try to have some more details about the NX project and everything that we're doing, so we can kind of give you guys a roadmap of what we want to do. So, and I'm sure we'll all talk about it in the Facebook group and stuff, but I'm going to have a roadmap and details on what content we want to do and bring you and where you can find us and stuff like that. But for now, we're going to get into the question block. You can email us at nintendopowblock@gmail.com. And yes, that email will still work for another year. We're going to still answer questions there, but we also have a new email address, but we'll get there. Ashley Davidson writes in. She says, what are some of your thoughts on Nintendo's upcoming Direct for E3? What new things do you think Nintendo is going to announce?
Because this is almost the same thing that's been working for them for previous years, I don't feel like there's going to be a change or anything. I think most of the new stuff we'll find out a little bit during the Direct, but I feel like on their last day they may bring out something new. Like last year they bought, I think, Skyland, some from the arcade archives that never been released in America. So that was something completely new during Treehouse. I think if we're going to do anything new as for a game, it depends on who they're going to be partnering with to make a new game. because we all, Game Informer got the exclusive scoop about Marvel's Ultimate Alliance.
Oh my gosh, that game looks good. Did you watch the gameplay stuff of that?
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh no,
that game looks really cool. Like
Yeah.
I know a lot of people have issues with like the art style and it looks like a mobile game, whatever. But like, I almost popped in Marvel. Like I have my Wii U hooked up over here, and I have Marvel Ultimate Alliance for Wii, and I was like, man, I really feel like going back and playing this right now. I'm really excited for that game, dude. And just having more, they're still introducing characters. Like, this is gonna be like a Smash Brothers amount of characters in this game. Like, it's just gonna be huge. So
and everybody do go check out that Game Informer story. Really good, really in detail. We'll probably definitely get more about Animal Crossing. I don't think they're ready to say anything about Metroid Prime 4 because I know there was someone, I think they put out like they were hiring for more people to come to Retro to work on it. So we don't have anything else. And I think that's the suspicion that they were reworking that whole game. Like starting literally from scratch. They might be bringing like some assets, like you said, Corey, about it, but I don't think we're ready to see anything just yet for that game. The only thing I could think of right now, as for a new IP, like I said, who they're gonna partner up with, I think we'll probably get a new Paper Mario. In some form or fashion.
I hope it's like the N64 and GameCube ones and not like the more recent ones. I mean, I think their RPG stuff is still like Mario and Luigi, which is like with the recent remakes of those games, that's what I'm putting my money on more than Paper Mario. But like, I would take both.
and last but not least, and I'm gonna pass it to you, Jesse and Corey. Last but not least, do not get mad if Nintendo doesn't show a lot or anything big. Don't be disappointed because they already got the summer and half of fall packed. If you just look at the last two Nintendo Directs, that's enough content to be like, what in the world am I going to have time to play these games, and will I have enough money to buy them? like we have everything up almost up to December. It's just when everything is going to be released. So do not be mad at Nintendo at this E3 if you guys feel let down. Just let Nintendo do what they do with their ED Direct and enjoy the Treehouse stuff, and we're going to be here covering it and talking about it. But that's my viewpoint on this question. Sorry, Jesse.
I forget. Did we get a release date for the Zelda remake that they're coming out with?
Just fall.
Just fall.
Okay.
So I mean, they'll probably announce a date for that at E3.
I mean, I still think Animal Crossing is going to be September. Zelda and Luigi's Mansion are going to be October, and Pokemon's going to be November.
Now this could be wishful thinking, but I don't know why I have this feeling that what's gonna happen is they're gonna show some more of that Zelda that they're.
Not to interrupt. So Corey, you remember Jesse predicted Cuphead coming to Switch?
Yeah.
So it didn't come to E3, but it actually did come to Switch, and it was what was the I think it was the Castlevania game I talked about coming to Switch. Mm-hmm. It didn't show at E3 or anything, but that's enough. And Corey, you said another game that didn't get shown at E3, but I think it may be on Switch, and I don't know which game it was. I have to look through it. I was watching last year's E3 prediction that we did on Pow Block, and all our outrageous predictions actually came to Switch. It didn't show up on E3. And I messaged Jesse. I was just like, okay, your prediction actually did come. So if our predictions don't come to Switch at E3, I have a feeling
just wait till next year's February Direct.
Well,
right.
So this is what I have a feeling for some reason is gonna happen, but they're gonna be showing off the new Zelda, that's coming out this year, and then at the end of it, we're just gonna get a title for the next Breath of the Wild version of Zelda. Like just a title. That's it. Just to get people excited. Like we won't hear anything about it until like a year from then, but
we could probably get like a hint of trailer.
Yeah, kind of like the like they did with Metroid Prime 4, where they just kind of showed us just to get people excited. Showed just because like I just have a feeling that probably not next year, but early 2021 maybe, or 20, we might get another Breath of the Wild style Zelda. But
yeah, I mean, I think between Skyward Sword and the Skyward Sword release and the announcement of Breath of the Wild, I mean, it didn't have a title or anything, but it was, the next Zelda game was about 2.5 years, which is where we will be at 2 years and some change. So, I mean, it might be, especially since they said they're using the same engine, because Nintendo said they want to get more use out of the engines that they're using instead of, building a new engine from scratch every time.
Yeah.
Which I know a lot of the games, I think Nintendo is using Unreal Engine now for most of their games, except for Zelda. I think Zelda's the only one with a proprietary engine right now.
Yeah.
I think Odyssey might be on a proprietary engine too, but I know they're using Unreal Engine for a lot of things, and I think that's going to help them give us more games, in a shorter amount of time, so we won't have to wait 5 or 6 years for Zelda anymore.
Yeah.
Which, if they're going to do a new game remake every 2 years, flip flop.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be down for that too, so, but for me,
I want that Ocarina of Time done in the Unreal Engine that some fans had made. Like, have you guys ever seen that?
Yeah.
Where someone redid the Ocarina of Time on the Unreal Engine, and it just looks amazing.
Yeah. I know we're short on time here, so we're gonna kind of speed this up. For me, I don't really know if I need anything new from Nintendo right now.
Yeah.
I still want to see that Star Fox Racing game. I want to see if Retro's been working on a new IP. I want to see whatever Retro's been working on before they got pulled back onto Metroid Prime.
Right.
I want to see that. So
yeah.
We're going to move on to our next question here. Deshaun Malone says, with Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 coming out, what other dead franchises would you like to see Nintendo help revive? Now, I'm going to go first because I actually think Ed's going to agree with me on this one. And I know we're getting Bayonetta 3, so they already have this genre covered, but they did this on the Wii U launch. I would really like to see Nintendo go and revive Ninja Gaiden. I would like to see them bring that back and make have another really hardcore action series added to their lineup.
Everybody, I'm preparing wedding plans for me and Corey.
Or Castlevania would be the other one, I think. But
see, Castlevania, I said Namco Bandai should do it. But Ninja Gaiden being exclusive to the Nintendo platform, that would be interesting. Because I would have chose Shinobi.
Yeah, but
actually, you know what? The Yaba game, that Ninja Gaiden Yaba.
I don't know. Is that the zombie one?
I think so. It came out the PS3 and 360, and it kind of didn't get no recognition.
I don't know, but I'm just saying, if Ninja Gaiden 4 got announced for Switch as an exclusive, Well, yeah, we know you would buy it, but
what was that Ubisoft game that you had the gun and the sword when it came out for Wii? It did
Red Steel.
Red Steel.
Red Steel. Yeah,
I can see that coming with the Joy-Con.
That game was bad. Second one was all right, but the first one was bad. That was I was debating on whether or not to buy that or what was the other kind of Wii launch game at that time besides Twilight Princess. I don't remember, but I wanted to buy two games and Red Steel for some reason. It was that Game Informer cover story.
Yeah.
Because they broke the news about the controller and Red Steel was on their cover and it was still called the Nintendo Revolution at the time. And I was just like, man, Red Steel is going to be awesome. It was bad.
Yeah. I
put it back in the case after like a half hour and played Wii Bowling for like 3 weeks straight. So
I've already made my case. Xenogears Chronicle. I kind of would like to see the original Xenogears actually come to Nintendo. And I don't know if Square Enix hosts that property.
Yeah. Because that team uses the Xeno like as their kind of brand, but like Xenogears is a brand. Xenosaga is I think Bandai Namco's, and now Xenoblade is Nintendo's. So
I could see them doing a remaster version or a rework version of Xenogears being on Switch.
Well, there's that rumor for a long time that Xenosaga trilogy was being remastered for Switch for a long time.
I would love to see that, but that's a long movie.
Though, because that opening cutscene is like an hour and 20 minutes. So,
and please, Nintendo, Nintendo Bandai Namco, can I get Tales of Symphonia for Switch?
Oh yeah, they already made it HD for PS3. It just ported over.
I know.
The collection.
Yeah,
Tales of Symphonia. What a game! What an RPG, man! What a great game.
So, hold on, Jesse. Before you go, I don't know if you read my Twitter, but I think I want Ninja Theory to do Alan Wake 2. That sounds weird. It doesn't have nothing to do with Nintendo, but I think because of me playing Hellblade, I think Ninja Theory could do. I think that would be the release game for what was it? Anaconda.
Yeah.
Yeah. I literally think Ninja Theory could do that, and I am intrigued to see how they will pull it off. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right. Yeah, I'll finish it out here. So like, there's a couple of things that I think I've brought up on the show that, like, I would like to see Nintendo get the exclusive Final Fantasy Tactics and actually bring that back. Like, that's something that I've kind of always thought would be perfect for like a Nintendo, like especially Switch. To me, that would be a perfect Switch game.
With the clamoring of that, and they already made it in like widescreen and sort of like HD-ified it for for PSP and the War of the Lions remake, like, and it's already on like iPad and everything too. Like, why don't they just do that? You know, even if they sold it digitally for $30, like.
Yeah.
You know how many people would buy that? So many people want Final Fantasy Tactics.
Can I tell you, Jesse? I think that might be enough for the fall.
Yeah. Yeah, I honestly could see them bringing that back because I feel like that's the only thing right now that we haven't seen anything of. Like, I mean, I know that, you know, they've been working forever on 7 or whatever, but I feel like they would make the most like excitement and make a lot of money bringing that back and even making a new one, you know, I don't know.
Definitely with the success of Disgaea 5 being on Switch and Fire Emblem 3 Houses coming this summer, Square Enix could definitely sell a lot.
Yeah,
if they brought it there.
I almost think that the tactics genre though is getting so full right now, especially with like Mercenary Saga coming out late last year and Wargroove coming out this year with the Advance Wars style, and then Fire Emblem's going to take up so much time. Plus there was another game that just came out that like people were really excited for that just came out. Like if they waited till if they brought that game out in like January of next year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think that would be like a prime spot for that.
Yeah,
I think it'd be a great
I would
jumping
imagine
off
it
for.
would be a while before, if they were to bring something like that out, it would be a while. Just because I feel like especially Square Enix has a lot of stuff going on, that they're trying to.
I don't even think they know
finish
what's
up.
going on right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I could see that happening, Jesse, and I could see that coming out. Corey. I just think the fall. I just feel like it should be announced. I feel like the fall is just a good time. But
Yeah.
I think with all the games that's coming out throughout that year, when you mentioned it coming out in January, Corey, I'm like, that would be a great jumping off point for Nintendo.
Yeah. But but Nintendo exclusive, I would like to see a new Donkey Kong game.
That's like the one thing nobody wants.
I don't. Yeah, but the thing is like.
I mean, those games are great. Like
Not
Freeze
Donkey Kong. I'm not talking Donkey Kong Country. I'm talking like original Donkey Kong, like the like the arcade one. I would like to see see what they would do to innovate that and bring it to today's standards, or whatever you want to say. Like, I would just like to see a more puzzly kind of based.
So that Donkey Kong versus Mario, where you had to put all the little toy Marios with the rhino clocks, you had to set them.
Mario versus Donkey Kong.
I don't even mean that. I just mean like if they could find like a way to do the original Donkey Kong, the arcade one, but have it like mix in like new mechanics of some sort, like I don't know, they could do like almost something like that Hook game where you've got to turn certain things to be able to climb to the next area to get up to the top, or just add bring something new to it. And just because that's the thing, is we've found that a lot of these more simpler games like that have a better chance of getting interest, because people like to have smaller, easier, just games that you don't have to quite think too much about to just do, that's why like phone games become so popular, is because it's just some of them are just so easy and just they're accessible that like people when they're bored will just be able to do whatever, like that's what I would look at that as, is like Nintendo's like game that hey, like it's not super expensive. If you just want like a cheap like mindless game to play, here's like a new version of like the Donkey Kong game. I don't know, I just like, because I still like those original Donkey Kong games, and I would like to just see something new from that, like them do something different with it and bring it to now, bring it forward.
Yeah. Well, we are out of time, especially Ed. So we are going to get out of here. I want to thank everybody so much for watching this episode. Not going to plug anything today. We're just going to say stay tuned next week, because we're going to have a whole slew of new plugs next week. We're going to have a whole slew of comments and questions and everything. So
I do have one plug, Corey. Everybody do check out NGR Radio this week. I am going to have my final blog on there for you guys to read. So do check that out.
Yeah, and I'm going to have something up there this week too, because like, to be honest, I still haven't told any, like, this is the first time this has been announced publicly outside of this circle of people. So, like, I haven't even told Matt or Moose or Jeff or Jay. I talked to Jason a little bit about it, but like nothing like confirmed or anything. So, I mean, outside of us three, this is the first time this has been announced to anybody. So, yeah, I'm probably going to write something there too. But anyways, I want to thank everybody so much for watching. and there's going to be some big news for us next week. So we love you guys. We hope you continue to listen, and we'll see you next week, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.